Please, won't you pray with me? Dear God, whom we know as love, may the words of my mouth and the meditations of all of our hearts together find their way into your heart this morning, O God. Amen. This week was one of those very full, very sad, very joyful, very beautiful weeks in the life of the church. On Wednesday night, we taught some of our oldest and most vulnerable congregants about the fraud that we are all capable of falling prey to. And we ate dinner together, and we laughed at funny skits, and we prayed together, and we sang. This was at Eat, Pray, Learn. And then also that night, I went along with a lot of you to the calling hours at Miles' funeral home for Sue Quinn at 9 o'clock p.m. because earlier the line was 3 hours long, you all. Started at 4. Approximately 1 million people were there. And I saw half of our congregation still there waiting when I arrived. And Thursday, I went to the 100th birthday party of one of our beloved congregants, Ken Day, at the Sterling Senior Center. We will be celebrating Ken today after church in our parish hall with hopefully a very big cake that can hold 100 candles. Ken, almost every time I see him, says, "Can you believe how lucky I am?" He says that almost does he say that to all of you too? Yes, especially his kids, right? They're like, yes, every day. He said to me on Thursday, "People like you keep me alive," he said. And the truth is, Ken Day keeps us alive. His eyes twinkle, and he's in better shape than all of us. And he still drives his car around town. And he even frequently posts on Facebook. So, right? So the next time people tell you that social media is only for young people, please remind them of Ken Day. We have 100-year-olds on Facebook, okay? On Thursday afternoon, just the same day, we laid beautiful Sue Quinn to rest in a service of memory and of hope here in the sanctuary. She was just 50 years old, half of Ken's age. And there were approximately 1 million people in this room. And Lord, was it hot, wasn't it? Oh, it was like 98 degrees. It was the hottest sanctuary in America, but we fanned ourselves and we tried to sing through tears. It was not easy. She was the kind of person who collected people because she asked them questions and really listened to the answers. Do you know what I mean? And she was a beloved member of this church. She taught Sunday school. She served on the preschool's board. She raised her children here, and they are so beautiful and too young to lose their mama. And she died of a terrible, wretched disease that makes me angry with God. I'm just being honest with you guys. It's okay to be angry with God. There's no one else sometimes to be angry with. But she wasn't angry. She was tough, and she was funny, and she was peaceful right up until the end. And she so desperately didn't want to leave her teenage kids, one of whom we just confirmed last year in the same ceremony. And she didn't want to leave her adoring and her adorable husband. And why she had to makes no goodly or godly sense to me. It's okay to say that too. I'm just being honest. She didn't believe in a God, though, who willed her to suffer and die for a reason. So we will never invoke that God in her name. Amen? She believed in a God who shows up in people and in love and in the midst of suffering. So it is absolutely no surprise to me how much she loved this place. She was the first person from this generation of parents, as far as I can tell, to die, right? And I think that all of us feel the fear that that brings up. And so there was a crowd at the reception at the Choxit Inn afterwards of those folks crying and hugging each other and wiping each other's tears and trying to imagine what it might feel like to say goodbye to their children and spouses, loving and supporting one another through the horror of that. And then last night, we raised, I don't know how much, close to $1 million for this church and its ministries at a celebratory Treasures of the Community auction put on by volunteers who worked every day almost for a full year to make this happen, certainly every week. And this Sunday morning, we confirm our 10th graders in the love of God and welcome them into the church. That's a full week. Confirmands, I'm telling you all this for a reason. I'm talking to you. You may want to know why I want you to hear all this. Do you? Just pretend you do. Yes, Robin, I like that. I want you to know that the work and the life of this church and church matters. Going to church matters. Showing up matters. Being the church matters. Amen? Amen. It matters more than virtually anything else you will ever do. It matters more than your grades. It matters more than soccer games. It matters more than getting asked to the prom. It matters more than the degree you get, the college you go to, the job you get, the stuff you acquire. And I'm not just saying this because I'm a minister. I'm telling you this because church contains the full catastrophe of life, the full beauty of life, the full reality of life. It will change, transform, and order yours if you let it. I want to tell you this today because too many people treat this confirmation ceremony like it's a graduation. Like after this, I'm done. Yes, I don't have to go to church anymore until I get married. Where's my diploma? Debbie's going to give you a certificate, but that ain't no diploma. It's the opposite of a graduation today. This is your welcome into the church. This is the day you make a deeper commitment to the church. This is the day you say, yes, I will show up. I will show up to all of it, from the baby baptisms to the funerals, to the turkey suppers, to the worship services. This is your day to remove your bib and put on your apron. This is the day you become a host for those who are hungry for what we have here, which is nothing less than extravagant love. This church needs you. Our hurting world needs you, so this church needs you. You may think that this place, if you're being honest, is a little boring and irrelevant. You are wrong if you think that. Because places like this save lives and mend hearts. So don't leave. And if you leave, don't leave for long. And if you move, find another place like this one. Not because your parents want you to, no. Find a place like this wherever you go for the sake of your own survival. And I don't mean the survival of your mortal soul, please, a God that would send you to some fiery pit to suffer because you don't worship the right way is no God that I worship, okay? But I want you to stay here, stay in places like this, because these are the very places that will move you to awe despite your anger, confusion, and depression over the state of the world and God's seeming refusal to fix it. Stay, not because of the strange words we use or the songs we sing or the funny rituals that we take part in, but because the people here show up. Stay, because these will be the people you can count on to show you what God's face looks like. These people right here, and more people like it. These will be the people who will show up with casseroles and cards and macabre humor when you need reminders that you will survive because they did too. Amen? They will wipe your tears. They will celebrate your marriage and your babies, and they will show up. They will show up when there's an illness or an addiction or a divorce or a death, because all of those things happen. They will offer forgiveness. They will keep you alive. So, beloved confirmands, welcome to the church. Now show up. Keep other people alive. And when the going gets hard, don't leave, because you'll miss too much of what life and love and God are all about. You'll miss being part of the love revolution. Amen.